Hello and welcome to Footy Life. Today, looking back at the round of 16 Champions League results here. First game we're going to talk about today, Chelsea, who overcame Atletico on aggregate 3-0. Let's talk about the both games.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a big surprise to me, Atletico winning. A lot of people out there probably thought that Atletico would win, especially what Atleti did last year to Liverpool. A huge surprise to me, but yeah, a tight game for Atletico. I personally feel they should have had a penalty in the first half when Carrasco went down and as Piqueta had hands on him. It's a penalty. It's a clear penalty to me. He tried to grab him, tried to stop him. That's just putting your hands in the box, and that changed the game because that they should have scored.
I don't know if I feel the same way. I think, yes, it could have gone either way, and it went the way where the ref decided not to call it. It was very early on in the game. There would have been lots of time for both clubs either to build off that momentum or to try and come back from having a call go against you, perhaps. Looking at it in slow motion, I reviewed it several times. Again, I think it could have gone both ways. It looked like Azpilicueta was putting his hands in. Absolutely, it looked like his hands were on his body, but it did look like he tried to pull away there. Then at the end, he didn't actually grab the shirt. So I think the referee perhaps thought, okay, it's early in the game, decided not to call it. Again, I'm saying it could have been a penalty. But let's talk about Chelsea's tactics here. Lampard's out. Tuchel's coming in. Several clean sheets so far now. You could say Chelsea beat Atletico at their own game here. This is a Simeone masterclass, you could say, shutting them out in both legs. And I know Atletico never really got up and running. They don't have that offensive ability as other Spanish teams, but Chelsea, who let in a bunch of goals in the first half of the season, really look like they've tightened things up here.
Yeah, absolutely. Chelsea is playing very good, but like even the goal, I think John Black should have saved that. It was on Gia's right foot, a weaker foot. Although yes, I know his body was on the other side, but a keeper like Oblak's on a top class, he should have saved that for sure. So yeah, I mean, good tactics by Chelsea. I personally also feel that the substitution when Suarez went out and they went with a different attacking force, that was a little weird. To me, I would have gone three attacking, would have gone more attack because I needed those two goals to win. Yeah, very very surprised about Simeone, but Atletico's struggling with the goals, and Chelsea they're playing the best clean sheets defensive in the Premier League, and how they're holding the game very very tight.
I agree with you. That Suarez substitution absolutely surprised me too. I definitely thought a front three, not sticking with the front two. Considering the position they were in when he came off, they needed to find two goals from somewhere, and it just wasn't happening for them on the day. So I'm surprised they didn't do an all out or nothing. And yes, perhaps the scoreline would have been 3 or 4-0 at the end of the day, but I don't think Atletico gave it everything they should have to try and get back in the game, considering it was a do or die match. Let's go on to a little simpler matchup here. Bayern Lazio. So 6-2 on aggregate. Bayern walked away in the first match. 4-1 winners. Second game a little bit closer, but Bayern, I think, comfortable tie for them overall. Again, just showing the class they have against a very inexperienced Lazio side at this level in Europe.
Yeah, so just like I love Bayern. Bayern's my team. Like no offense here, but was that a penalty? That was not a penalty. Like he had his arms around. Exactly the same thing what happened in the Chelsea game. So
Yep.
if you do the clips, it should have been penalty both games, or it should have not been a penalty. So to me, that if that was a penalty, it should have been a penalty on the other game. So a bit of controversy here, but yes, of course, Bayern the better team. Lewandowski scoring again, and the way they play, I just love the way Bayern plays.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the penalty?
I agree with you. I think we're lacking consistency, and it's not just in Europe. You're looking at it in the domestic leagues as well. There's always controversy. The whole handball rule for the last 5 years, there's been controversy, and I don't think it's going to stop anywhere next season either. I think VAR. It's not. I don't think the referee itself at fault. The first official referee in charge of the match. I think this is where VAR really needs to step up and
Consistency.
and learn to develop consistency, and they need to make it clear if there's a shirt pull in the box, it's a penalty. If his arm is fully wrapped around him, it's a penalty. If it's just on the side of his body, maybe it's not a penalty. But they really need to define these things So there is a clear understanding of it. Right now, the handball rule is even in a natural position by your side, if the ball strikes you, it is a penalty. Even so, where are you supposed to put your arm? People are going to ask, which is true. It's very tough to call that way, but at least it's a clear definition. But again, referees aren't ruling it as the clear definition that it is written currently.
Yeah, to me, I want to give credit to Lazio here as well, because Lazio, they kept going, even in the first leg, second leg, and they scored a goal.
You're right, they didn't give up.
A good free kick, a good header by Parello. So Lazio, I think they got unlucky in the first leg, with their rotation, and Bayern caught them. But good for Bayern, and I think Bayern are the favorites to win the league here. Let's see who they draw.
Yeah, well, it'll be very interesting. I don't think any team wants to meet them coming up here in the quarterfinals. Looking ahead, though, here's one team, Man City, against Borussia Mönchengladbach. I think all of us can say we didn't quite expect it to be as one-sided as it was, and a lot of people out there might say, oh, well, City is a powerhouse, and yes, they are, but we know they do struggle in Europe normally. They come up short somewhere, and Gladbach played really well in the group stages. They put in some great performances. They were very, very convincing, and I don't know what happened here, but City took control and kind of walked away with it 4-0 overall.
Yeah, absolutely. A comfortable win, routine win for City. To me, I find City's playing really good as well. The key three players which I see City doing really well is Kevin De Bruyne, Gundogan, your midfield, the striker Gabriel Jesus and Aguero. They're not really scoring, firing in all cylinders, but their midfield's playing so good, even with Foden playing a false nine. And then Cancelo, the wing backs, Cancelo and Kyle Walker, just going up on the field, pressing and giving them so much attacking options. So I think Pep Guardiola's really, really mustered it here. Like, he's really going to go at it, and City look the favourites to win as well.
You're right. It does look like they've sorted out a problem which has plagued them the last couple of years in Europe, and that's their defensive issues they've been having. And they didn't have the best start domestically, and I think they've sorted out their defensive issues, and they found their secondary scoring. They're not relying, like you say, on Gabriel Jesus, Kun Aguero anymore. You've got Mahrez, you've got Sterling, you've got Foden, De Bruyne, Gundogan stepping and having a career season so far in terms of producing the goals. And you're right, you've got your left and right back flying up and down the wings. Defensively, offensively, they're putting in the work, and it's showing. They're getting the results.
Yeah, so to me, and the best signing for City has been Ruben Diaz. Like, Ruben Diaz with Laporte, that's also very good. They've conceded less goals. Ruben Diaz, he's been so influential. Like when Van Dijk joined Liverpool, I really think they've done good, and City are favorites to win because they're picking up at the right form. And honestly, I don't want them to win, but let's see what happens.
We will see what happens, and you're right. Ruben Diaz absolutely has had a great influence on the club, and a lot of players, they can that positive energy, that good form will spread throughout the entire team. So certainly helped their entire back line there. Now let's move on to the next one. We've got Real Madrid against Atalanta, 4-1 on aggregate. We knew after the first game Atalanta would be in tough after 17 minutes, going down a man, and then Real Madrid getting perhaps a little lucky at the end to sneak one by with Ferland Mendy to go away 1-0, and then the second leg I certainly expected to be a bit different here, and Atalanta certainly disappointed.
Yeah, so to me again, 17 minutes in, a red card, that changes the game. Give him a yellow, it's not a goal scoring opportunity. Like, the ball's not close to him, he's not in the box. So to me, that's a harsh red card. But again, Madrid always gets lucky. So I don't know. It's a 3 minute transition, but I thought Atlanta would do well, and Atlanta really played well. With 10 men, they could have scored, just 1-0. I thought in the second leg Atlanta will do a good job. But yeah, again, there's a controversy again on the second penalty when Ramos scored. Like, I don't think that was a penalty. It was outside the box. He touched it. He went in, and again, VAR inconsistent. The touch was outside the box, he stepped on the line, he fell in, and you give a penalty, and that kills the game because Madrid's up 2-0.
Yep, no, you're right, absolutely. And I think Atalanta were missing Papu Gomez. Obviously, his transfer in the winter has affected them greatly. I know he was falling out with the club, with the coach a little bit, with Gasperini, and they were missing his midfield creativity and the spark and energy he brought in the midfield. They weren't able to create a lot, and it's cost them. They're going to be in a bit of a transition phase now and looking for perhaps to bring someone new in. They are traditionally a selling club, but we'll see if they can find someone to replace them.
Yeah, and good for Madrid. A lot of people thought Madrid will not make it through, and they're into the last eight. So who needs Ronaldo when you have Sergio Ramos?
Well, it did. One thing I do want to point out here for Real Madrid is, yes, they came away winners against Atalanta here, and yeah, they did a good job. They really did. We can't say they did a bad job there, but we can't forget here the first game was without Ramos. It was without Benzema. They just managed to get by. With the two players coming back in now, you can see just how reliant they are on these two players. So for a club that spends a lot of money in the transfer market every winter and summer, you certainly expect more from them.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, like Benzema scoring every time. I think like Benzema is a very very key player for Real, and I mean, interesting to see where they end up at the draw. Coming up next week to see what happens.
Yeah, definitely gonna have to be cautious of some other teams because they can't put in the same performances against clubs they may draw against because they will find themselves in trouble. Going ahead to PSG Barcelona, this was a clash of absolute heavyweights within Europe. Of course, Barcelona not having the best of times in Europe recently. PSG making it to the final, coming up short last year against Bayern, 1-0 in the final. Here we saw PSG dominate Barcelona in the first game, and then in the second match it was much closer. Had Ousmane Dembele perhaps capitalized on, I don't even know how many chances he had he put, let's say, two of them in the back of the net, this could have been a different tie, but PSG wins it 5-2 on aggregate. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, to me, the first leg, honestly, like bad tactics by Koeman. You don't have Neymar, you have Mbappe, who is fast, and then you play Gerard Piqué, who's coming back from injury. You play Dembele and Sergio Dest. Dembele doesn't come back, he doesn't track his runs back, and then of course Mbappe, he punished them. Oh, it was a lot, 3-4 goals. I saw Messi getting frustrated. There was no passes, nothing. Trincao came in, they made some chances, and yeah, it was sad. But a second leg was very different. I didn't expect Barcelona to dominate like the way they dominated, the way they started, and an unlucky goal they conceded as a penalty. But the dominance was good, and you're right, Ronnie. Ousmane Dembele got so many chances, and Messi's penalty as well. I want to talk about the penalty. Actually, it's a big controversy, but that if Dembele would have scored two, it would have been like PSG would have been under heavy pressure the second half, because they would have just been like, oh my god, we've conceded 3-4 goals, right? So I don't know. I think wrong tactics on the first leg that costed Koeman the game.
Absolutely.
But the penalty, I don't know if you guys saw the video. When Messi took the penalty, you sent me this video. Verratti was in the box.
Yes.
I wish I could show you guys a clip, but you know what? He was in the box. That should have been a retaken penalty.
It should have been a retake as well. You're absolutely right. I agree with you 100%. The rule is clear, just as the rule with the goalkeeper coming off the line is clear, and we'll get into one of those situations later with the Dortmund Sevilla match. But you're right, Verratti was very clearly in the box, and I have to say again, VAR here has to step in and let the referee know. The referee's not looking at the players outside the box. The referee is looking at the player striking the ball, the goalie along with the goal line official as well, watching the goalkeeper coming off his line. The referee's got a lot more important things to look at as well, so he really needs the assistance of VAR there to let him know, hey, this happened. It does need to be a retake. It was unfair penalty.
Yeah, absolutely. So like, what happened with Barcelona? What's the big thing? Like, what do you think they're missing right now?
Right now, I think they're missing perhaps that second and third player that they can rely on to finish off chances. It can't just always be Messi. I mean, you look at the goal in the second leg. Oh, phenomenal. I mean, Messi was given too much space again, and look what he does with the ball from 25 yards out. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. Navas, no chance. You could see him struggling there with the swerve on the ball as well. It was phenomenal. And Messi also created other chances from midfield going forward, which the other players, his teammates, just could not find the correct finish there. Yeah. So he's kind of like a lost man on the pitch, trying to create, but once he's successfully created something, there's no end product.
Yeah, like to me, Barcelona, I think they did a huge mistakes, letting Suarez go. Uh, then Suarez is the top scorer in the Spanish league, and of course, like who's scoring goals for them? Messi just can't score goals. The top two scorers in the Spanish league is Messi and Suarez. Imagine Suarez there. Barcelona would have advanced for sure. They would have been at the top, even on the Spanish league, very close to Atletico. So a big mistake from Barcelona letting Suarez go, and the way they let him go, like just absolutely. Oh, and no wonder the president just got sacked, and there's elections coming because that club is messed up.
They do have a number of problems on their hand right now, and one of the big things in the summer is going to be what's going to happen with Messi. He's not signed a new contract. He's not signed an extension, a new contract. Constant rumors of him signing somewhere else. So we'll definitely see what happens.
Absolutely.
Let's go over to Liverpool against RB Leipzig. You've got another tilt here. Two very strong clubs in their domestic leagues. Liverpool recently struggling a little bit. Leipzig, on the other hand, are sitting right behind Bayern. In the German league, very good form. However, couldn't produce the goods here. Liverpool coming away 4-0 winners, 2-0 in both games.
Yeah, a very surprising game for me. Like Leipzig couldn't score. They've been phenomenal in Bundesliga, and I was surprised like how come they didn't score. Liverpool, however, the first leg, two mistakes by Leipzig, and Leipzig scored a goal. Liverpool, sorry, scored a goal. So okay, great. Second leg, I think Liverpool had so many chances. They would have been up 3-4. What's the goalkeeper's name? Glashi's saving them a couple of times, and to me, Leipzig's it's a big club, but it's not a big club with the experience they have to win over Liverpool. The manager's done a fantastic job, but they need a number 9. I think they're really missing this Timo Werner or somebody else who can consistently score goals.
You're right. When they sold Werner, they sold him for good money. They made really good money off of him when he went to Chelsea,
Absolutely.
and fair enough if they chose they wanted to make some money, but they do need to find a replacement. Talking about Liverpool, though, they have been struggling, and they kept 2 clean sheets here in the Champions League, which is huge for confidence. But also Sadio Mane and Mohamed Salah getting the goals in the second game again as well. So let's see what that does to Liverpool, because this could be the turning point for Liverpool and just the type of matches they needed to come back now and regain their confidence, especially for Europe.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you give those people chances. Mane, Salah, they score. You've got Diego Jota coming back from injury. He was very influential there. I think Liverpool is one of the favorites to win as well. Domestically, they are struggling, but it's the Premier League. In Europe, it's different. They could go all the way to semi-finals. I feel Liverpool, like depending who they draw against, it could be a tough game.
You're right, and there is no what's the term? No protection in terms of playing a team from your league as well. So they can face Chelsea, they can face Man City. There is no protection in this draw anymore. So it'll be very interesting to see who they get, and I'm sure they'll be hoping they don't face Bayern or PSG here, 2 teams that are also favorites to win it. Now let's talk about a very interesting matchup, Porto Juventus. I don't know if a lot of people saw this coming. I'm sure a lot of bookies had good odds on Porto upsetting Juventus here. It was 4-4 on aggregate, but we can't forget the away goal rule. Let's talk about it. Ronaldo and Juventus came up short here.
Yeah, like to me, the biggest upset, one of the biggest upsets, for this game. 2-1 first leg. I thought Juventus will win, absolutely. They have an away goal. They just need to score 2 goals at home, keep a clean sheet, 3-2, easy. But oh boy, two goals. The penalty. I don't know why Demirel is playing. Why not Deligit started? So that was, I don't know what was the reason behind it. And then of course the second goal, like the free kick, drilling down. Like when Sergio Oliveira is taking that free kick from such a far run up, you need somebody just to lie down. A lot of players lie down these days. Like it's a driller. It's not like he's not trying to bend it, So yeah, like, and again, like I don't know, it went through whose legs, Ronaldo's. So that's kind of disappointing. I think he's been a lot of hate through social media. Like hey, it went through. And then of course Juventus scored 2 goals, great for them. But like no creativity in the extra time. They couldn't score, right?
I think they've mismanaged the squad a little bit, and I don't know if Ronaldo was the perfect fit for Juventus as that key piece to trying to get this famous Champions League trophy. Juventus, the previous years to having Ronaldo, were so good. They made the semi-final consistently. They made it to the final, but by spending 100 million on him plus his salary, of course, jersey sales got, I believe, recouped the 100 million pound fee within a week or something, or a couple of days even. But then spending that salary on one player, they could have gotten two or three additional players and kept going as the team they were, opposed to becoming so reliant on Ronaldo to bail them out here and save them. And the strategy just didn't work.
Yeah, so I want to talk about Juventus because this is the club I've been following since early 2000s. You know, I was a huge Italian league fan. Juventus went with a different strategy. The strategy is getting free transfers in, so people like Ramsey, you know, Emre Can, get these people from free transfers. And then they went with Ronaldo because they wanted to be the biggest club in the world. You know, they were missing that after a couple of semi-finals. Ronaldo comes in, everybody gets to know what Juventus is, the fan base behind him, you know, from Instagram and all the followers, they go into Juventus. Juventus likes goes up, you know, Juventus becomes a big club. Uh, I think they've managed the squad very well, to be honest. You know, Sarri sacking was, yes, I think he lost the dressing room, but he was a good manager for sure. Uh, I personally think they have no creativity in the midfield. Arthur going to Arthur coming from Barcelona and Pjanic going there. Arthur haven't started, you know, and then they have players like Bentasur, Benedeshki, who are not the top midfielders, but they are Bala injured. I personally feel, you know, they have the experience with Chiellini, with Buffon, with Ronaldo, you know, and they have young guys. It's a good mix of the squad, but they don't have that creativity in the midfield. If this is not working, how are you going to create chances, you know? And the mid four, the mid three, they don't have that.
You're right. You're absolutely right. And I do want to say that Ronaldo wasn't able to bail them out, and Ronaldo wasn't even really involved in the game that much. He had the one assist for Federico Chiesa, but Chiesa's the one scoring all the goals here. It wasn't even one goal from Ronaldo of the four goals, which is very, very rare to see. So I don't know if it just wasn't his day, the two matches. It can absolutely happen. I mean, Ronaldo, he scores almost a goal a game, so it's very interesting to see, and I don't know how they can fix it here. They might need to look at actually spending some money on a midfielder instead of continuing with this free transfer strategy. But there definitely needs to be a bit of a shake-up. I don't think it necessarily lies with Pirlo. I think Pirlo can still lead them the right direction. They are a club right now that's taken on a bit of a rebuild status due to them exiting the Champions League this early and also struggling a little bit in the domestic table, although they are still up there in the Champions League spot, so they're not a threat right now of missing out. We'll have to see how the rest of the season goes for them.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I think I was going to say, play like Ronaldo. You give him one chance, he will score. One chance, he will score. So, you know, but if he's not getting chances, what do you do, right?
Yeah.
Like Morata coming in, playing two forwards, and Morata's also didn't do anything. And of course, I want to give a credit to Porto. If you look at the fantasy league, Porto's got their defense got the top number of points. So a huge credit to Porto. We cannot take credit out of Porto. You know, drilling, playing as a team, defensively working hard. So a lot of credit to Porto, and I look forward to where Porto draws up, because I think Porto could be the weakest team, and they could be biggest surprise like Lyon last year.
Absolutely, I do agree with you. Porto did a phenomenal job in the back line. Let's talk about Pepe as a player. He's known as a hot-headed player, kind of like Ramos. However, he's definitely cooled down in recent seasons when he went to Turkey. Now he's back in Portugal. He's doing a phenomenal job for this club, and if he wasn't in that back line, I don't think Porto would have got the result they did. He's marshalling the back line, he's yelling at his teammates, getting them in place, motivating them, keeping the energy levels up. Pepe is definitely the leader behind Porto's success right now, and whoever they come up against, Porto is not the weak team they're made out to be, with a lot of teams probably hoping to draw Porto. I don't think it's a team you want to face right now.
True, absolutely. Just I wish I could show you the clips, guys. But just did you see the last minute Pepe's clearance, bicycle clearance?
Absolutely,
like, wow. He was the man of the match.
He gives it his all every game in, game out, and his disciplinary record has greatly improved. So if he can keep it that way, I can see Porto actually doing very well, at least to the semis, perhaps even the final, depending on the route they're given here in the draw on Friday. Let's talk about Dortmund and Sevilla. We've got my favorite player here. I've got his jersey from Salzburg. You've got the jersey for Dortmund representing his new club.
Because this episode is dedicated to Erling Haaland.
So, Sevilla Dortmund, it was very close, very, very close. First game, Dortmund went to Sevilla. They came away with the victory, scoring some key away goals, but then Dortmund at home started the game super strong, and then Sevilla almost came back there as well to send it to extra time. Haaland scoring a fair number of goals, actually. He was basically the topic of the tie again, producing the goods.
Let's just talk about Haaland. Honey, you've known this guy since, not Molde, but maybe since Salzburg days, right? Can you just talk about Haaland? Who is this guy? Like, wow. And how old is he? And look at his goals.
I believe he's 20 years old. He's
20.
He's looking like he's emulating the Zlatan Ibrahimovic type of a player. He is tall, he's big, he's powerful, he's strong, but he's also got pace. And he's got a touch, like Zlatan as well. So it's very interesting, and it's not every day you get a player that's built this way, and his motivation is the Champions League. His alarm clock tone is the Champions League theme music as well. So he wants to win this thing, and he knows how good he is as well here. Dortmund are very lucky to have him. His release clause from Molde, I believe, was only 3 million, and I know United, I think, wanted to sign him at one point and missed out due to a time zone difference issue. That's how they lost out on him, so he went to Salzburg instead. And he's already broken the number of goals he has ahead of Mbappe, first 100 goals. It's incredible to see here what this kid is doing. He's phenomenal. And I'm just excited to see him go on, and I really hope Dortmund can keep going the way they're going right now.
Isn't the youngest scorer to reach 20 youngest games played to reach 20 Champions League goals?
My apologies, it wasn't 100 goals, it was the 20 Champions League goals. Ahead of Mbappe there. Messi and Ronaldo nowhere close either at the time at 20 years old. So phenomenal stuff from this kid. He is motivated to win this competition. So I've been a huge fan since day one, since he kind of hit the spotlight, and excited to see where he goes.
Yeah, perfect. Let's talk about the game here. 5-4 on aggregate. Sevilla, I don't know, guys. If you watch the second half, like first leg, absolutely credit to Dortmund, 2 away goals. Sevilla came back, and then the Dortmund won. Sorry, and the second leg, Sevilla just pushing, even going to 2 down, and El Nassiri scoring. I feel like if the game would have continued for 10 extra minutes, Sevilla would have just scored a goal and would have advanced 5-5 on aggregate.
I agree. There is a problem. It would have gone to extra time had it been 5-5, because each club would have had that 3 away goals, so it would have been a deadlock there. Would have been extra time. But I agree. Had the game gone longer, Dortmund were in trouble, and that's typically. I hate to say it, but it's Dortmund fashion. They play very strong at the beginning, and it's not even that they sit back. Defensively, they seem to start struggling in the second half of games, and that's where the opposition can press them. And Sevilla did a very good job coming back into the game, not giving up, and it was just unfortunate for them that they ran out of time here.
And then the drama, to me, the penalty was not there, and then there was a goal. It should have just been an advantage, a goal. Then there was a penalty, but then it was a re-penalty, and then it was a goal. It was just such a crazy drama. It was like amazing. Like, okay, what is going on here? Another VAR controversy, just let it go. Don't do a penalty, because they had to score on an advantage.
Yeah, I don't know what the official ruling on that is if they do have to call that back. It's not a situation you normally see where you have a foul happen, the play continues on for, I think it continued on there for a good 2-3 minutes, and then Haaland scores a good goal, and all of a sudden they're checking him for offside, but then VAR decides to check the earlier foul. They do call it a foul, so they cancel the goal, they cancel the possible offside, they go to the penalty, Haaland has it saved, the goalkeeper mocks Haaland, then it goes to VAR, finds out the goalkeeper's off the line, retake the penalty,
Haaland takes it.
Haaland's a lot of self-confidence here, doing the exact same penalty, this time scoring, goes and mocks the goalkeeper, and then gets a card for it. So A lot of drama here, a lot of controversy.
Guys, you have to watch this.
Very,
This is
very,
awesome.
very cocky of Holland, but he knows he's a star, and I love to see the confidence of a player like that.
I love Holland too. I think it's going to be very exciting to watch Holland and see who Dortmund draws out next.
I do think perhaps it might end up being the end of the line for them, depending on what team they get, because defensively they'll have to make a much better effort here. I do think Dortmund got a little lucky, but when you've got Holland in your team, I think you always have a chance to advance.
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect. So we'll be looking forward to the draw on Friday. We'll give you a rundown of the draw, the results, our predictions for the quarterfinals there as well. And until next time, have a great day.
See you guys.